Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Travel Talk Tuesday. Today, we are excited to start diving into the world of cruising, and not just any kind of cruise, but exploring the world in comfort with Viking River Cruises. So, in case you don't know who Travel Chicks are, we are a full service travel agency that really focuses on solo and single travelers. So we create this platform to bring like-minded people together and take these epic trips with. Today, I am excited to share our lovely business development manager from Western Canada, Kim. Kim, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the invite. I'm so happy to be here talking about river travel with Viking. So thank you for the invite.
If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to hit the like button or subscribe. We know people are often, very busy in this world. So today we are going to discuss, why Viking, what sets Viking apart, what's unique about this particular cruise line. And we are going to also hear about Kim's exciting journey she just took over to France. So, Kim, how about you introduce yourself, share who you are, and take it away. Let's go.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, my name is Kim Tobias. I'm the director for business development. I work solely with the travel community, so wonderful partners like Melissa. So we work hand in hand together. And so I love the partnership that we have, and I'm really here to talk about river cruising. Why river cruising? Why Viking? I guess first of all, I love the saying about a river cruise. Well, first of all, the ocean will take you to the destination, but a river cruise will take you through the destination. And I think that's why river cruising is so popular these days, is because, whether you're a first-time cruiser, it's such a great way to start, or maybe you've never been to Europe before. We also go to Egypt and Cambodia, Vietnam. So if you have never been to those areas before, river cruising is such a great way to start. And Melissa, you asked me a little bit about what is unique about Viking.
Yeah, well, I think that's a great starting point. Like, why Viking? Why should people choose Viking?
Well, for a couple of different reasons. Well, I'm going to share my journey with you. I just went to Avignon and Lyon, so I'm going to share that journey with you, and I'm going to talk about some of the unique things that Viking has as I go through a few slides. But really, Viking River Cruises is, the most popular, well-known river cruise company. We've been in the rivers of Europe for 26 years now. And there's a few things about why Viking, but I'm going to share that with you when I do my presentation.
Okay, amazing. And how about the question that we get asked, or we have been asked a lot in the last couple weeks, is what are you guys noticing as trends in Viking?
Trends. Okay, wonderful. Well, we have seen a lot of new to cruise. So as I mentioned, it's an excellent way to start if you've never cruised before. So we're seeing people shifting from land-based vacations over to river cruising. You get to see so many places at one time. You're unpacking once, everything's included. So it's a very easy way to see the world. So we're seeing a lot of new to cruise. And then the other thing that we're seeing is a lot of longer itineraries. So particularly here from Western Canada, it's a journey for us to get to some of these places in Europe. So people are wanting to go to spend as long as they can on their vacation. So we're seeing a lot of longer cruises. Our Grand European, which is our 15-day itinerary going through about 4 different countries, is really about 50% of our guests will take that cruise. So yeah, we've got some new itineraries, Capitals of Eastern Europe, which is 17 days. So we're just seeing a shift to longer itineraries.
Well, and I think that probably makes sense, because if we're really thinking about things here, people have not traveled in how long? Yeah. So it's like they have this bank of money sitting there. They have probably this bank of vacation time. And so On average, what would you say is a really good length of cruise, especially if it's your first time?
Well, I think a lot of our itineraries, the Rhine and the Danube, have some 8-day options. So that's sort of the shortest time that we have. And then we're going up into 15 days with the Grand European, 17 days with the capitals of Eastern Europe. So, it just depends on how much time that we have. So I would say the average cruise is about 8 days long.
Okay. And what do you think is unique about Viking?
Sure. Yeah, I'll share some things with you. Well, first of all, with regards to trends, I just wanted to also let you know that we're seeing some, we call it quiet season sailing. So we're seeing some winter sailings, which is great. We introduced winter season in the Rhine last year, and that's an 11-day itinerary, and so no crowds, no heat. We're also going to offer that for the Danube as well, called Treasures of the Rhine, Treasures of the Danube. So in terms of what makes Viking unique, why don't I just go ahead and share my trip with you, and I'll talk a little bit about that as we go along.
Actually, that's perfect. So, yeah,
Yeah.
here is Kim's personal trip just in the last couple weeks to France.
Yes. Well, first of all, I consider myself a curious traveler, as many of our Viking guests are. And one of the things that sets Viking apart is that we're really destination focused. So we come up with some really interesting places to visit. And then we learn a lot of things as we go along. So we have guest speakers on board. We have historians on board. I particularly was really excited to go to Lyon and Provence because I really had never been there before and really was interested in the history and the culture, in the music, in the art, of course. So I was excited to go. I went in a couple days early, so just so I could acclimatize with the time change, and then also in case I ran into any flight delays. So this was the itinerary here. This was Avignon to Lyon. Actually, we did the reverse, and you can do that with many of our cruises. You can do the reverse. So actually, I started in Lyon. I flew right into Lyon, although you can hop on the train from Paris if that was another option from you, but I choose to fly right in. So what makes Viking unique? Well, first of all, we've been on the rivers in Europe the longest of any river cruise company. We design our own longships. I'll talk about why that's important, but my favorite thing about my journey was the front of the ship, which is called the Aquavit Terrace. So that's where I sat, enjoyed my meals, watched the river action on the river as I went along. And then the other cool thing I loved was to sit there and going through the locks. So on that particular itinerary, there's 11 locks to go through. So it was really fun. So people ask me, okay, what was your favorite part? So here you can see these beautiful smiling faces. I went on with them as strangers and came off with them like family as so also with the guests. So I'd have to say the incredible crew that we had on board just made me feel welcome. There was nothing. I would sit down at the bar and there was my French champagne. They knew that what I loved to drink. So my favorite part was the people that I met. But one of the things that makes Viking unique, other than we have our own ships, all designed our own ships, is our prime docking locations. So we're parked in the heart of every single city, and this is what the view looked like when I was in Lyon. So the nice thing is that you're docked in the city, so you can just go out and have fun, explore on your own. Excursions are included. So I would go and do my excursion in the morning, come back and have lunch, and then go out and explore. So it is very unique to Viking to have these beautiful prime docking locations in the heart of every city. So that was the other thing that I loved. I love just getting off and having a look at what the city has to offer. And Lyon is just happens to be the culinary capital of France. France is the culinary capital of the world. So you can imagine the food that I would see when I was walking around. I took a couple pictures of the farmer market. They have beautiful produce, fresh produce. The cheese is amazing. And they do farm to table. in the true fashion as they do in all of France. And the other fun thing is that they have so many wonderful bakeries. And the average person that lives in France goes to a bakery 5 times per week. So I really just had fun walking around Lyon and exploring all the incredible food. And the other thing I did was I always do like it's a tour of the city. And this was one of the excursions also that we offered in the morning. And this was from the top of the Lyon, which is actually called the Notre Dame Cathedral. And there you can see the rivers. It's Lyon is divided by the Saône and the Rhone. We go along the Rhone, so you can just see the beautiful architecture. One of these areas in Lyon is world renowned for the Renaissance period. So that area, people come from all over the world to study the Renaissance period here. So that was really interesting to me as well. And then that area of France, of course, is known as all of France, but this particular region is the Côte du Rhône and also the Beaujolais region. So I really love to learn a lot about wine. So I went and a couple of my excursions were focused in and around the vineyards and cultivating wine, as they do very well in France. So that was really a fun part of my trip, learning about the wine.
One of the questions that
sure.
came in, actually 2 questions.
Sure.
What is the average age on Viking river cruises, and how many excursions are included when you say all excursions are included?
Yes, great questions. The average age of a Viking guest typically is 55 and older. Not to say that there's not younger people on board. So we do have younger people on board. I think the main difference about Viking 2 is just that we do have guest speakers. We have historians on board. So anyone that's curious-minded and interested in history, culture, music, art would be the perfect Viking guest. So it doesn't matter how old you are. And sorry, what the second question that you asked?
When you say that excursions are all included, how many excursions are typically offered in each port?
Sure. Not all of our excursions are included. We have the local life and the working world, and we've got lots of different options for you. I'm going to share some of the ones that I did, but you get 1 excursion per day. They're usually in the morning or the afternoon. And we also have something called privileged access, and those are really unique designed excursions, like going to the Vienna Boys Choir where they live if you happen to be in Vienna, but those are an extra charge.
Okay.
Did you have any other questions?
Nope, that's good for now.
Okay. So a couple of the beautiful stops along the journey. I really loved the Roman influence. This was in Vienne, so just outside of Lyon. So here you are in this incredible place, but you've got the Roman influence in architecture. Same with Lyon as well. So I really thought that was very interesting. That you could see remnants of Roman times. So interesting. This was another one of the stops. This was in Tyrone, France. This is a beautiful small seaside town, or not seaside, but riverside town. But in the background there, you can see we're still in the winemaking region here, and you can see how they terrace the wine and how they grow it. So that was very interesting. But one of the excursions here was to take a steam train up into the farmland of this beautiful town in France. So you really got to see the countryside, the farmers, how they farm. And I've never been on a steam train before, so it was really fun. I really enjoyed that. So that was one of the excursions that I did. And then we went into Avignon. I'd never been to Avignon, and it's a walled city. And where we park is just a moment's away from walking into this incredible walled city. Here you're going to be learning a lot, the Roman influence as well. I think the first Pope's palace was here in Avignon, so you can go visit that. Just walking around the town was incredible. So this is what it looks like once you're inside that walled city. There's so many just art, music, restaurants, and so on. So I really loved just exploring by foot. So a couple of excursions. I had always dreamt about going to Provence. So I did the excursion to Provence one day. I went to an olive farm where the women had taken over the vineyard, I guess vineyard of olives orchard. And that was really interesting. And then we got to try the olives, of course. I did a culinary tour in Lyon as well. And then in this little town, Saint Remy, is where Van Gogh painted and lived for a short time. So there's lots of art influences. One of the excursions that they do is a painting class in the morning, and that's actually looking at modeling a real Van Gogh, and that's what you get to paint from. So I loved all the different types of excursions. There was a chocolatier who was so proud of his chocolate making. That was really interesting as well. So we try to have something for everybody. And that's it. That was just wanted to share with you just an overview of my trip and talk about some of the things that make Viking unique. So prime docking locations, the guest lectures on board, friendly staff, everything is included. So I talked about the excursions, but everything is included. So of course your cruise, you have all your meals, which the food was fantastic. Because we were in France, we had a lot of French influence in the dining, particularly in the evening, same with the wine. And then the other thing I love is that they encourage you to bring, like I went to a couple of vineyards, so I was able to bring some of the wine that I tasted back on board and share it with some of the people who didn't get a chance to go, or for them to serve it at dinner time. So I love that that we allow you to do that.
Amazing. Thank you. And if anyone else has any questions, please type it in the chat. Another question I have, does Viking offer the idea of passengers getting off the ship in this location and then catching the ship in the next stop?
Well, sometimes I've heard it happens not by choice, where they may have missed their stop and they have to get to the next one. I think as long as they don't really encourage it because they want to make sure all the guests are on board and, before they move on. But you could, if you wanted to make your way to another stop, that has happened before. So.
Okay. But it's not something that
it's not really common. But.
Yeah. Okay. And as far as 2025 goes, I know that many river cruises for 2024 are selling out and into 2025. What are you finding is one of the top itineraries that is selling really well for next year?
Oh, great questions. We do have a little bit of space left for 2024. So I encourage you to reach out to Melissa and she can tell you what we have. We often see free air promotions. And we have a few of those left still for 2024. So it's such great value. The air is included. The most popular itineraries for 2025, I mean, ours are going to be the Rhine Getaway, the Romantic Danube, or the Danube Waltz, and then also the longer one, the Grand European. So, they do anticipate that 2025 is going to be even more robust than 2024. So don't wait to do your bookings. All you need to do is give Melissa $25 per person as your deposit, and she will make that booking and hold that for you. So don't wait. It gets busy. Hardly have any. We 2024 is pretty much all sold out, 95%. So don't wait to book. We have all of our itineraries open to 2026.
Okay, perfect. 2026. Okay, and another question. What are the dress requirements for dining on the Viking ships?
Another great question. Well, the other thing about Viking is that we are not overly formal. So you don't have to worry about bringing your tuxedo or your gown. You can leave those at home. The dress code would be, we say in the evening, country club casual. Wear what you feel comfortable. Your days are going to be busy, so you don't want to have to dress up at night. So we tend to be a little less or more on the casual side.
Perfect. And I think one of the final questions before we wrap things up is let me just check the list here. For next year, or I guess in any year, when somebody is thinking about taking a river cruise for the first time, what month do you think would be one of the best months to go?
I would have to say that May, June. May, June might be good months. There's no bad month to be traveling on a river cruise. Let's just say that. So May and June are popular months, as the fall, where we're seeing a little less heat and then more, the less people in the destination. So it's just really, there's no bad time to be on a river cruise.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We saw, I guess I just wanted to say, sometimes I get this question asked a lot about high and low rivers. I wanted to say that Viking does very well in those situations, should that be a concern. So what we do is, because we have all identical ships and we do have quite a few in our fleet, what we do is that we take it to the point where the ship can't go further. You go out for the day, you're in cabin 1A, you pack your bags, our crew will move it to another ship waiting on the other side of the river, where it's where you can continue on as a river cruise. So there's not too much interruption. And that is unique to Viking as well, that we can do that because we have identical ships and it's easy for us to do a ship swap. So that's how we manage those situations.
That's a really helpful point, because I mean, we've seen all over the news that rivers are low, cruise passengers, canceled itineraries. So thank you for addressing that.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't happen very often, to be honest, but when it does, it seems to get the most press. But Viking does very well in those situations.
Mm-hmm. And you did mention earlier in your presentation something about the long boats. Did I miss?
They're called. Sorry.
Did I just said, did I miss it? What you shared about that?
Viking has designed their own ships, and they're called long ships. So they're a little bit longer than some of the other river cruise ships on the in Europe as well. So yeah, we get to design our own ships, and we call them long ships. The other thing I like is that there's not a lot of things. We have some beautiful places to sit up top. We've got a herb garden. We've got solar panels. There's a track that goes around. So if you've eaten too much, you can go and jog around the track. But Viking, I think they're very careful in their design. Whereas if the water level is high, they don't have to worry about sneaking under the bridge. So that design serves us very well.
Okay. And well, I think that is a wrap. And I want to say thank you, Kim, for taking the time to be with us today. If you have any questions about particular itineraries, you can certainly send Travel Chicks an email. And the other thing is, if you're not on our email list, head over to travelchicks.ca and input your information to be on our list, because in the next coming weeks, we will be sending out some top preferred itineraries with Viking River Cruises for next year that you may want to consider joining. And like Kim said, you can put a deposit down for $25 and hold your space.
That's a nice peace of mind. You put it down and you've made that commitment to take a next journey. It's easy.
Okay. Thank you again, Kim, and we will talk to you soon.